Picture this. Your alarm goes off, and before your feet even touch the floor, your thumb is already flicking through a flood of notifications. You promise yourself you'll get up in just a minute, but somehow that minute stretches into 20. Now you're rushing to the kitchen, grabbing something sugary because there's no time for a real breakfast, and the day hasn't even properly started. Yet you already feel like you're chasing it. Sound familiar? The Stoics would see this not just as a rushed morning, but as a morning surrendered, a day handed over to bad habits before you've even claimed it for yourself. And the cost? It's not only the lost time, it's the loss of clarity, the erosion of discipline, the way your focus scatters before you've even had a chance to direct it. It's beginning the day on someone else's terms, letting the world's noise set your tone instead of your own purpose. But it doesn't have to be that way. The Stoics believed that the first moments after waking are sacred, a chance to anchor yourself in intention before the chaos begins. Today we're going to uncover 5 bad habits quietly stealing your morning, and more importantly, how Stoic wisdom can help you break them for good, turning those first moments into a foundation for the entire day. Mornings are more than just the start of your day. They are the foundation that determines everything that follows. If you begin with clarity, intention, and control, you set yourself up to carry that energy into every decision, every challenge, and every conversation ahead. But if you start in chaos, distraction, and reaction mode, you'll spend the rest of the day trying to catch up, always feeling one step behind. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. Marcus Aurelius didn't wake and immediately check what the world demanded of him. Instead, he reminded himself of his purpose, grounding his mind before stepping into the day's noise. Epictetus taught that if you can master the first few moments after waking, you can carry that same discipline into the rest of the day. Because those first moments are a test of whether you will lead yourself or be led by impulse. The problem is most of us unknowingly fail that test. We reach for our phones, we hit snooze, we skip meaningful rituals, and we rush without reflection. These seemingly small choices compound, quietly shaping our mindset and stealing our potential before we've even left the house. But here's the good news. Mornings can be reclaimed. By identifying and eliminating the 5 bad habits that sabotage them and replacing them with simple, Stoic-inspired routines, you can transform your mornings from a source of stress into a source of strength. And when you win your morning, you set the stage to win your day. The first trap, reaching for your phone the moment you wake up. It seems harmless, just a quick check of messages or a peek at social media, but in reality, it's the fastest way to surrender your mind before you've even claimed it for yourself. The Stoics would see this as starting your day in chains, handing over your attention to the demands, opinions, and noise of others before you've taken a single breath for yourself. That flood of notifications, news headlines, and curated highlights doesn't just eat up time. It sets the tone for your mood, shifts your focus, and scatters your attention before your feet even hit the floor. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, you have power over your mind, not outside events. But when you start your day with everyone else's voices, you give away that power instantly. Instead, reclaim those first 10-15 minutes as your own. Keep your phone out of reach, maybe even in another room. Let your morning begin with presence, not distraction. Breathe deeply, stretch your body, drink water, journal your thoughts, or set your intentions for the day. Those few minutes create a buffer between your inner world and the chaos outside, giving you space to decide who you want to be before the world tells you who to be. The difference might feel small at first, but over time, it can completely transform the way you experience your mornings and your life. Epictetus believed that discipline begins with doing the thing you don't want to do exactly when it needs to be done. And hitting the snooze button is the perfect example of practicing the opposite. It's telling your brain, comfort matters more than commitment. You might think those extra 5 or 10 minutes will help, but in reality, they don't give you deep, restorative rest. Instead, they break your sleep cycle, leaving you groggier and less alert when you finally do get up. The Stoics would see that moment as a test of willpower, a small but powerful choice that sets the tone for the entire day. When the alarm goes off, it's not just a sound telling you it's time to wake. It's an invitation to honor your word to yourself. Getting up right then isn't about whether you feel like it. It's about proving that you can act on what you've decided, even when it's uncomfortable. That single act of self-discipline, repeated morning after morning, builds a quiet strength that carries into every decision you make. Because if you can win the battle between your mind and your pillow, you're already training yourself to win the bigger battles life will throw at you. The Stoics valued ritual not as empty routine, but as a daily anchor, a way to ground the mind in intention before the world's chaos begins. Skipping your morning ritual, whether it's journaling, meditation, prayer, stretching, or a quiet walk, might seem harmless, but it's actually handing control of your day to whatever shows up first. Without that anchor, you drift into reaction mode, pulled in every direction by emails, notifications, and other people's priorities. Seneca warned, if one does not know to which port one is sailing, no wind is favorable. Your ritual is that port, the clear destination that lets you steer with purpose instead of being tossed around by chance. Even 5 minutes of mindful practice can create a powerful shift. It's a moment to breathe, to remember what matters, and to set the tone for how you want to show up. It tells your mind and body, I lead this day, it doesn't lead me. The Stoics knew that storms would always come, but a ship with a set course can face them without losing its way. Your morning ritual is that course, and skipping it is like setting sail without a map. What you feed your body and mind in the morning is more than just a choice. It's a signal to yourself about the kind of day you're going to have. The Stoics believed that preparation was everything, that both mind and body should be readied for the work ahead. When you start your day with sugary snacks, endless caffeine, or the mental junk food of gossip, outrage, and doom scrolling, you're giving yourself a false start. It might feel like fuel for a moment, but it's like putting water in your gas tank. It can't take you far, and eventually, it will break you down. Seneca and Epictetus both emphasize the power of discipline in even the smallest acts, because those acts build the foundation for greater ones. Imagine beginning your day with something that uplifts and fortifies you. A balanced breakfast, a short walk, a few pages from a book of wisdom, or a podcast that inspires instead of agitates. These small, nourishing choices aren't just about physical energy. They strengthen your focus, steady your mood, and remind you that you are in control of what enters your system, both food and thoughts. If the first thing you consume builds you, the rest of your day stands on stronger ground. Marcus Aurelius began many of his mornings not by rushing into action, but by quietly writing to himself, reminders of patience when provoked, humility when praised, and purpose when lost in routine. To him, this wasn't wasted time. It was the sharpening of the blade before the work began. Skipping reflection is like setting sail without checking your compass. You may move quickly, but you have no guarantee you're heading in the right direction. The Stoics understood that the human mind, left unattended, will drift toward distraction, ego, and impulse. That's why even 2 intentional minutes of reflection can transform a day. It's a moment to ask, who do I want to be today? How will I respond when I'm challenged? What truly matters in the next 12 hours? You don't need a grand ritual, just a quiet pause before the noise begins. Whether it's writing in a journal, sipping your coffee in silence, or rehearsing your principles in your head, this is the blueprint for your day. Action without reflection is construction without a plan. Action guided by reflection is building something that lasts. Pick just one of these habits to focus on this week. Not all 5, not all at once, because the Stoics knew true mastery is carved slowly, like a sculptor shaping stone. Maybe it's keeping your phone out of reach. Maybe it's resisting the snooze. Maybe it's committing to 2 minutes of reflection. Whatever you choose, replace that bad habit with a purposeful, Stoic-inspired action and treat it like a personal experiment. At the end of each morning, notice how you feel. Calmer, clearer, more in control. The aim here isn't to chase some flawless routine, but to build momentum through consistent, deliberate choices. As the Stoics taught, progress is forged in the everyday moments when you choose discipline over impulse, presence over distraction, and intention over autopilot. The Stoics believe that the way you open your eyes to the day is the way you open your life to possibility. Morning bad habits aren't simply thieves of time. They are subtle architects of distraction, shaping your focus, your energy, and your willpower before you've even had a chance to claim them. That's why replacing them with grounding rituals, strengthening choices, and guiding reflections is more than just self-help. It's self-mastery. Tomorrow morning when your alarm rings, you get to decide, will you drift into the day on autopilot or will you steer it with intention? So, which morning habit will you transform starting tomorrow? Drop it in the comments and carry this thought from Marcus Aurelius with you. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love.